Okay, you may wonder what I have against the Bar Association attorneys. They're here illegally, for one. They represent the British Crown, for another. And they rob us every chance they get, and they pad each other's hands. And it's okay for the attorneys to lie to us, and there's no way for us to challenge them. So they are enslaving us and impoverishing us. When they see what you have, they're going to take half. They're going to get as close to half as they can because they feel they have it coming, even though it's not theirs. Now, that's not all attorneys. There are some that are actually noble and have ethics, but I have to say it's maybe 5% at best. The Bar Association needs to be destroyed. These attorneys need to be imprisoned for treason because they aren't loyal to America whatsoever. They're loyal to the British Crown, British Association Regency. They're all esquires. They're not knights. They're esquires, which means they're basically scribes. They keep the records, and your banks today, actually I was going to say your courts, but I realized I was going to say banks, so I figured I'd let it slip. Your courts today are all banks, and they're all making bank. And they're making bank in ways you can't believe. Why? Because you have a Social Security trust fund in the background, and they tap into that too, unbeknown to you. And you're worth millions of dollars. And so they take it. They take it. Anyway, I have a friend who's in dire straits. She can't get necessary, critical health care because her attorney is negligent. The son of a bitch is twiddling his thumbs. I'm going to send him a text message and I'm going to tell him that if my friend passes away or gets hospitalized even because of his negligence, that I'm going to look into the matter. I don't know if the Bar Association will yank his license, but I sure as hell will try. Also, I will do what they do to us. I will press a matter against him and go against his Social Security trust fund. I don't like doing that. I don't think it's proper. None of us should be in this social insurance scam. But they gave that to us and they stuck us with it in 1933. And they're supposed to pay off all of our bills and debts because of the bankruptcy that they managed back then. So your Democrats, and FDR in particular was one of the worst presidents ever. You need to understand the British have controlled this country for a long time, really since its inception. They've been screwing around with us. China may be our enemy philosophically, but if they stay in their own country, I'd be fine. I don't want their students here. I don't want their people here whatsoever. Not now. I don't want them owning anything inside of America. I don't want them owning a company inside of America. I don't want them owning a damn thing on this country. Leave them in their own country. And if they ship out another damn virus, well, all bets are off. If I'm president, that's an act of war, and they'll have a full war if that's the case. What do I want you to do? I want you to understand that these Bar Association guys are horrible, and you're better off settling things between yourselves. I'm trying to do that. It's really hard with the level of thievery going on, and the attorneys are helping the theft. You need to understand, the attorneys are liars and thieves. They don't tell us the truth, and they lie to us all the time, and it's okay for them to lie because they can practice law any way they deem fit, and it's an uphill battle for us to challenge that. Well, take care. Seriously, take good care. I don't like the Bar Association. The 13th Amendment is the law of the land, and that's not the one that Lincoln gave us. He was in the office illegally, by the way, and he was a Rothschild, a grandson of a Rothschild at that. His father was A. Springs, short for Springsteen. These people change the records. They hide their tracks. They censor all of our books. None of our history, none of the records we have are accurate. Nothing we have is solid rock. Nothing we have is the truth. Except for, I believe, the Bible and a few ancillary books. I'd like you to buy my Bible, and I'd like you to like this video and share these videos with other people. We are not going to be a free people, and we're not going to be able to live under constitutional law until the Bar Association is done away with completely. And as far as I'm concerned, we just serve them notice. If they say they didn't know, oh, you didn't know what? You didn't know the law? Well, what have you been telling us for more than 200 years? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The Bible says they rob widows. They rob the fatherless. They do. They do. They've robbed me. They've robbed widows. They've robbed the fatherless. They're horrible. And they're not necessary. And we certainly have far more laws and more complexities than we need. The attorneys use all of that stuff to their advantage. There should be no corporations in our borders. None at all. Our country, our nation should not be incorporated. The courts should not be incorporated. The municipalities should not be incorporated. That's not a republic form of government. I was about to say Republican, but they're a bunch of traitors and jackasses as well, especially the current Speaker of the House, Johnson. Tar and feathers are too good for that son of a bitch. I tried to get a friend of mine to run for Congress, but I think at this point, all bets are off, and the sooner we start the shooting, the better. Quite honestly, I hate saying that. I don't want to see that. And I've been saying for a long time we can win this one without a shot. But the fact is that such large numbers are participating in this government and refusing to quit participating in their bullshit. And so you have a bunch of thieves in the country, a bunch of liars and thieves. We need to stop enjoying free stuff and stop demanding free stuff. I only want what I can afford. I should be able to afford things. But because there's insurance, they jack the rates up. Because there's government programs, they jack their rates up. I used to pay $15 for a doctor's visit. Now my copays are going $40 or $50 even. And it's not good care. It's not good health care. It's really lousy care. And they have all these specialists. Why? So they can set you up and make a mistake and kill your ass prematurely. And then they'll come up with an excuse. There's been some diseases that they haven't eradicated that they claim they've eradicated. They just changed the name and the diagnosis. And a medical practitioner who uses the old name will lose their license. They got control over everybody. These attorneys need to be given notice, and we need to give notice to these courts. We need common law courts. By the way, what I'm about to tell you is really the truth, and it's scary as hell. Not only did we take prayer out of the schools in 1964, but that's when we stopped taking common law pleadings, and it was all statutory. And these prosecutors, when they realize what they've done, they realize they've committed crimes, and they're very distraught over it. Well, they should be distraught over it because they were ignorant and they harmed people. Look at Kamala Harris. She cackles away laughing about all the men she put into prison. Where do you think she belongs, by the way? I say we tell the attorneys, leave the country. I don't care where they go. I don't want them here anymore. We tell the Bar Association members, leave. Excommunication. Never return. No assets or holdings in this country. we'll make them forfeit every bit of it. If they don't like it, that's too bad. They've damaged the country beyond repair. So we're going to repair it, take the repairs out of their asses, man. Let's take it out of their bank. Same with these judges. I think we need a death penalty on any judge that takes a bribe. No appeals, executed, tried within 24 hours. And a police officer who lies, I don't mind protecting them by saying death penalty is available on a cop killer. Oh yeah, should be that way across the board, but I want police dressed in blue, not this black crap and not the navy blue or dark blues. I want them dressed in butterfly wing blue, a nice brilliant blue so nobody misses them. And if a police officer lies, I think the police officer should be executed. Got this idea from one of my neighbors in a previous RV campground. He didn't say the judges. He said, fine, I'll do a death penalty on any cop killer, but they should pay with their lives when they lie. That's right. So we need to police ourselves. We need to have common law courts. We need to have the militia to take them into custody. We need our sheriffs to maintain the jails, so when the militia brings somebody in, they can be kept. We need to go back to the way it was. As free men, we were entitled to be paid a bond to be taken into custody. Why? They'd put a bond up if they took us into custody. Why? Because you wouldn't be able to work for those days. And if you couldn't work and they found out they had done you wrong, they would have to give you the bond. It's only right. They deprived you of your ability to support yourself, so they should pay you the money. Got that from a friend, and I also got it from an inmate in the penitentiary. He's a young, brilliant man who was up for forgery and stuff because he understood the system and what a lie and what forgers and what thieves they were. He was beating them at their own game. I love my country. Take Yahweh over the country any day. As far as family goes, I got none. They've abandoned me. So it's kind of hard to love that. I miss the old folks, and I wished that I could take a proper stand for all of those people, all of those family members that got me here. I apologize to them for not doing a better job in carrying the family on. I did the best I could do. I had interference in the family, interference outside the family. And at this point, I'm getting to be a bit of an old man. And it's kind of hard to relate to a woman who's of childbearing age anymore. I mean, and the women today are drastically different. It ain't getting any better. So I say, we men say, not just no, but hell no. The Navajo have stories about when the women went off to live by themselves and how they couldn't make it on their own. That's the same way it was for the Amazonians. They couldn't make it on their own. Filled with hormones, filled with rage. Oh, definite killing skills for sure. They're far more deadly than men are. But I'll tell you this. Women really can't love very well. Maybe their children. But their husbands, it's always marginal. It's always conditional. Whereas for a man, he can fall in love at first sight. And he really gives, and a woman takes. And my old college friend, Tom Smith, said, people have it backwards, John. Sex is when a man gives and a woman takes. It's quite true. we need to make these women understand if they want us to have children with them, they're going to have to be on the up and up. They are going to have to be respectful, because where there is no love, there can be no respect. So if you think that she's going to love you because you cave in, oh hell no. She resents your ass because you were weak. You tell her off, put her in her place, and then you lock her out. You put her out if you have to. That's okay. And that should be the way the divorce goes. You put her out, she's not welcome in, she doesn't take anything with her. She's on the streets where she belongs. And you keep the children. No child support demanded of them, but we keep our children. Men deserve better. Men deserve far more. And these women are major irritants. They think it's cute. They think it's a good idea to be merciless. They have no idea how much they drive a man away. They think it's okay to be rude, crude, demanding, and to take on the role of a man, and that we're going to actually find it attractive to us. Look, I don't care if she has just a high school diploma. Can read and write, do arithmetic. I'd prefer that, because I know that when a woman has a college education and she marries, 80% of the time she divorces the guy. And in case you're wondering why she divorces him, it's because she brings in the student loan debt to the marriage. And that poor young man, that poor sucker, doesn't realize what he's buying, what he's getting. And so she'll arrive with $100,000, $400,000 in student debt. She'll live with him as a wife for a year or so, and then, I'm not happy, and she'll divorce him. And he will suddenly inherit, if not at least half of the loan, if not all of it. It will bankrupt him. He'll never recover from it. And so by the time he recovers beyond the age of 30, well, what can I say? And these women expect we're going to go back and do it again? Hell no. The structure of our society is creepy as women are allowed to stalk the men. Men aren't allowed to hunt the women. I mean, if you find a woman you care for, you want to look into her. But at this point, you got to take whatever you get. And above all, guys, meet her father. Meet her mother. Talk to them one-on-one. And if either one of you gives you a warning about their daughter, heed it. They know their daughters. And if the father won't give you a blessing, it could be to protect you. Don't be so heartbroken. Just walk off. There'll be other women at this point. Believe me. There are more women than men out there. And to top it off, men are going to be dying left and right, so there's going to be fewer men. I know. And actually, it's no fun when there's an imbalance, when there's a lot more women than men, because they walk around frustrated and they're angry. When they get to my age, they're not worth dealing with hardly at all. I'll converse with a couple of neighbors, but that's about it. Yahweh bless